Welcome back to the Corey Bak'n Show. In today's episode, we're going to go over the laundry room. But there's a little exception to the laundry room from now on, at least probably until like September. The 4x4 is done. It's 6 plants in there right now, just drying. This 2x4, as you can see, the lights are off because we got that shut down for the year. Correction, for the summer. Come back up in September. This is the only one we're going to have running over the summer. And this is the Spider Farmer tent now. This is because it carries the SF2000, the Spider Farmer light. So from here on out, and at least back until September, I'm going to probably start renaming this run here, this grow, this the Spider Farmer grow, and no more, not the laundry room. So that might be a little change in it. Have the editor, my son, who does the videos, and just make sure he's okay with just changing this to the Spider Farmer run until the end of the summer. In the Spider Farmer run, we have the 2 plants that I said that I was going to leave over here that came out of this 2x4. Remember, it was 6 plants inside that tent. The Gorilla Glue number 4, the Sour Power number 1, the Funky Chapels, Phenos 1 and 2, and it was a couple, I think, Biscotti Mint and Granny Apple Fritters. So what I did, I kept the Gorilla Glue number 4 and the Sour Power Pheno number 1 over here in this tent. And the other 4 went into the 5x5 and they're growing in there. So I'll have a 5x5 run throughout the summer. All the way up until August. These are coming down at the same time in August. And then behind the curtain, they'll still be running because I think we're only in week 5 of flower of that one there. And that's just the one tent now because the 2x2.5, if you remember the last episode, the, what plant did I have in there? Oh, that intergalactic Buddha. It hermed on me. So I chopped her down and got rid of her. So there's nothing in that tent now. So that's what you'll be seeing in the coming weeks. The 5x5, the finishing of behind the curtain in this tent here. Now over here, we just transplanted these plants here from the 1-gallon pots that they were in up into these 3-gallon hard pots that we have here. Now what also I'm going to do today is add this trellis net that you see right here. I already cut it up for this tent to prep it for it. So we're going to hang that up in here. We're going to do some training of the plant up under it. I've already lollipopped and defoliated the plants before I put them in the tent. So that'd be one less thing I have to do. But yeah, we're gonna grab this trellis net, hang this up, weave the plant through the trellis net to try to keep it down. Because again, it's only a 2x4 by 5 foot tent, and we don't have a lot of room for growth height anyway. And these plants are already completed pretty much week 1 of flower. And if you remember in the previous episodes between the veg corner. Oh, that's one other thing I forgot about that one. The Grow Peaceful is in the veg corner. I forgot about that one. That'll also be going all the way to August. It's the veg corner, 5x5, behind the curtain just for maybe 3 more weeks, and then this here. And this will go all the way to August, mid-August also. But here, what we're gonna do is, like I said, add the trellis net. I cleaned it all up. So let's just do that now. All right, we're back. Got the trellis net. I'm gonna start laying it across. I'm gonna tie the trellis net off using these zip ties down here, and then we're gonna do the training. Get you in a little closer here so you can see it. All I did was take it and bend everything up under this net. Now granted, we did this a little late. Just got transplanted today into these 3-gallon pots. Today is July the 1st. Now I wish I would have transplanted these 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago actually, because this is also, like I said, this is the end of week 1 of flower. So to be transplanting them this late into flowers, this first time I've ever done that. But because of my situation, I've been busy as hell. I just haven't had a chance to do it. So it got transplanted into this cocoa, and the way these things have grown in the cocoa and the previous runs that I've had, these plants should have zero problems whatsoever. As you can see, I stripped them down and cleaned them up quite a bit. Plenty airflow should get through there. Should get us some amazing growth off of these plants. I know the Sour Power #1 kind of stretches and gives a hell of a yield. Well, actually, I'm trimming up a bunch of that right now. They came out of the 5x5, that 5x5 temp. I had the 3 Sour Powers Pheno #1 running across that back row. And I have all of them harvested and they are pretty much dried up now. The tops are, not the bottom half of it. So I'm taking the tops and I'm trimming up some of that stuff now. Yeah, but that's what it looks like today's episode. I still need to get in here and feed these girls. I haven't given them anything since they've been transplanted. The cocoa down there is completely dry. We'll definitely be doing just like we've done in the previous cocoa runs, all FluoroFlex nutrients. Since we are in week 1 of flower, we are using the Silica Blast at 1 teaspoon per gallon. My Cow Mag, I'm using 3 milliliters per gallon. B1 is 1.5 grams per gallon, and B2 is 1.5 grams per gallon. And last but not least, the bulky B, that is 0.75 per gallon. Now what I do is try to mix up, when I've done it, when the 4x4s with the 4 plants, I do 2 to 2.5 gallons. And I use those numbers I just gave you. And my EC winds up around 2.6, 2.4 to 2.6. That's what it's pretty much been falling at with that recipe that I just gave you. So as we get deeper in the flower, I will increase because I'll take out the Silica Blast at the end of week 4. Cow Mag I keep in all the way up to week 6. And that's when I'll start increasing the bulky B and the bulky B, B1 and B2. I just increase them a half a gram when I start substitute. When I take the Silica Blast out, I'll increase those 2, the bulky B, the B1, B2. I'll just increase them slightly. The bulky B will go from the 0.75 to 1 gram. B1 will go from 1.5 to 2 grams, and B2 from 1.5 to 2 grams. So to make a long story short, that's what I do. And I run that run all the way up to week 7. Then week 7 correct myself again. The B1 and B2 go all the way to week 7. The bulky B changes over in week 6. Week 5, I believe it is. But I'll change that bulky B. We switch over from bulky B to full tilt. And full tilt at those at 2 grams per. And I'm at full tilt is the last 2 weeks. I think 6 and 7, or 7 and 8 with a flush in there, something like that. But yeah, like I said, I'll put the chart up on the screen and you can see it. If not, if I forget to do it, you can go on FluoroFlex website and you can pull up the nutrient schedule that they have on there. They have a couple different ones with Cow Mag and without Cow Mag. So, but that's what we have in today's episode. One more thing before I end this. You notice that the tray is not down here. It's only temporary. It's all back getting power washed and dried up. Once that gets cleaned up, dried up, I'll put that back in here. So for right now, I'm just using the trays. I'm getting ready to water these girls. Going to have some runoff, and I'm actually going to leave the runoff sitting there so it can soak it back up. So it's because this cocoa is completely dry. So I'm gonna go a little heavy today. Instead of giving maybe just 2 gallons, maybe I increase this up to 3 gallons and then let them suck some of this stuff back up. And then start maybe tomorrow or the following day, I'll get up to my regular watering schedules by then. We got a couple droopers that's like down in there, just kind of hanging. It's a couple spots. But if I can't get them back up under the net, I might cut them off. It's a pretty long one, and I'll hate to cut that one off because it might produce some turning or something. So yeah, it's long enough to get up there. So I'm gonna leave that up there. Just about finished here. A couple things I still want to go over. Let's go over the light right quick. This is the SF2000 by Spider Farmer. Fantastic light. I have one run under my belt with this light now. I ran the last, actually was in the same tent, same setup. Those plants did fantastic. That was the Sour Power Pheno number 2. We got Pheno number 1 in here this time. And it was one other plant in here that I can't remember what the hell it was. I have to check my notes and see what it was. But anyway, it was the blue milk. That's what it was. The Sour Power Pheno number 2 was right here. The blue milk was right here. Fantastic. They're drying up now in the tent right behind us here, and it's 4x4 with the rest of those plants. What I noticed about that light, comparing it to the other light that I had up in there, the HLG light, and actually an HLG 240 plus, it was a Mars Hydro light, TS 600, the set right here. The HLG was on this side over here, and the TS 600 was sitting right here. So I've been wanting to get rid of that. I mean, it worked great, especially during the winter time, but in the summertime, we're having those 2 sets of lights in there with the drivers. It brought a little bit more heat than I wanted in this tent. And what I noticed about having this run here with this Spider Farmer light, there's no heat. I mean, I have 0 problems controlling the heat and humidity in this tent, which is a big deal for me. The light spread on here, I thought it might be a little short, and because the light doesn't cover, let me see, let's tilt this up a little bit. This is the light here, as you can see. It's only this section right here. It doesn't go all the way across the 2x4. You got some dead space on both sides of the tent past the light. But even so, having that, this light is strong enough to cover all of that and still get a nice harvest. I mean, my centers and my outsides when I harvested was just as thick as the center. Now, one other thing that I'm going to do that I didn't do the last run with this light was I left the light sitting up here the whole time, and it just controlled it with the controller right here. Right now we're sitting in this smidget past 50%, about 60%, let's call it that. And I never lowered the light. But this time here, since these plants are already stretched like crazy, I vegged them way too long, and they all stretched. That's why I'm bending them all up under this trellis net like this. I'm going to lower this light about 5 or 6 inches about here to so we can cut out the stretch. The closer the light is to the plant, and with the intensity of the light, we should eliminate having any more stretch. No, I can't eliminate any more stretch. Let me correct myself, because we are in flower and only in week 1 of flower. So we're going to get another 3 weeks of stretch easy. But 2 of those weeks are going to really stretch. So those 2 weeks, I'm trying to minimize as much as I can by just training them up under this trellis. I might have to add a second trellis. I'm pretty sure I will add another trellis here, and then keep this light as low as I possibly can. And in that way, it will give me room to move the light back up as the plants grow. So right now I have minimum space up here. You see that? That's only a couple inches I got to move up. So I could drop this plant, this light, like I said, down about 6 to 10 inches. I don't have to crank it up high. I can keep it right around the 50-60% of it is right now. The plants will do great. And then, but at least by the end of the stretch, what's that, week 4 or so, we should be done with any stretching, and I should probably have this light maxed out by then. But we'll see. And even if we have to max it out, I might not have to turn it all the way up. When I'm dropping it down lower, the light, the plants are getting even more intense light the closer the light is to it. So, and I haven't done that with this light here. I normally just like to just take the LEDs, pull them up here to the top of the tent, and then use the controller for the intensity of the light, and that pretty much works. But in this, and I have done it in the past where I've controlled the light and dropped it, and that control helped with the stretch. And I need to help with all the stretch I can here, because quite a bit of this plant is bent up under this trellis net. And I'm sure, after watching what this light did on that last run, that this run here should be even better than that last run. But the SS2000, if you're considering a new light, you need a light for a 2x4, this SF2000 will definitely satisfy you. Does great in the 2x4. I wish it was a little wider, so we have a little bit more light coverage, but Spider Farmer does have a few other lights and the bar style lights. The bar style lights cover this whole tent from left to right, from back to front. And you have even lighting all the way across. But this SF2000, the way they got the lighting, the diodes hooked up to this now, set up on here, the way they organize the lights on here, the light does great. So, if you're interested in a new light, check that Spider Farmer's page out. My discount code is either in the description or at the bottom of the screen. Get them a shout. Check them out. They got lights. They have the tents. They have exhaust systems. They have humidifiers, which I'm also using. They're ultrasonic humidifier. The 6 liter, I think you got a 6 liter and a 15 liter or 16 liter, something like that, which just fantastic. I love the humidifier. I'm using it over in the my veg corner, and that's the only thing I got growing over there right now is the Grow Peaceful, that Grow Peaceful plant, that bucket over there, that purple biscotti that's growing over there, and that humidifier is fantastic. I might put water in that thing now once a week, because I have the parameter set up so it only comes on when the humidity drops below, I think 75 or 80, somewhere in that ballpark there. And the humidifier is fantastic. Plus, I love the fact that it sits outside my tent, and I'm just running a hose in the tent, and it's pumping in the humidity that way, so it's not eating up any of my space in my tent. So it's real easy to change out the water. I change out water, add water to it when you see it's getting low, without having to open up your tent and go in there and move stuff around, so on and so forth. So Spider Farmer got that covered too. That humidifier system is really light, really nice. And if you want to, I've tried it already, you can split that. I only use the 6 liter. You can split that into 2 tents. And if you looked at in my past videos, I got 2 tents over in that veg corner where you have my 2x2 and a 2x4. And the hose, the way it's set up, they have a splitter on there. And I ran the hose in the 2 tents, and it maintained both of those 2 tents humidity perfectly. So Spider Farmer has a fantastic humidifier. You might want to check them out. But this light is banging. I can't wait to get a few more Spider Farmer's products. This is the first time I've ever had a Spider Farmer product, actually, the light or the humidifier. I've seen them around for a while, but I've never had any of their products until now, and I'm impressed. So if you're in the market for any grow equipment, give Spider Farmer a chance. You won't be disappointed. But that's all I have for you on this week's episode. Thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, share, and subscribe. And until the next one, stay baking.